The Indian semiconductor industry, if we look into the kind of manufacturing setup, what we are eyeing and what kind of chip nodes we are trying to develop for our growing market in this sector, then we see a few companies coming up with their business strategies. Established players like Intel, Samsung, and TSMC in this field are already there, and largely they are developing the analog sizing, which is of these chips, which is around 235 to nm to nanometer to 45 nanometer. So in that range, we have a market, and this is being developed. Now, the next step is what we are looking into is smaller nodes which offer more functionalities, more processing power to these mobile devices and other consumption points. They consume less electricity, so the heating is also less. And so that is the future what we understand. And for each smaller node size, the smaller the node size, the chip node size, the more efficient we can call it. So, different companies in this sector of manufacturing or setting up fab units have different strategies. Now, the government has put in an incentive of $10 billion for attracting semiconductor industry setup in India, and we have seen the kind of incentives they have given. More incentives are for the producers of smaller node chip size. If we talk about the sizing, then and the companies which are coming in through these incentive schemes, then Vedanta Foxconn has committed to develop committed some $7 billion to develop 28 nanometer size of chip nodes, which will attract nearly 50% of incentive from the government, and that is a digital node which is very much in demand and will be for the coming 5 to 7 years, because these technology improves and then we have to further reduce the size of these chips to meet the demand of the consumption. So that is the idea. Another Singapore-based company, IGSS, has also committed for this particular size of 28 nm to develop in India and then deliver to the market, because we are seeing a market for this. However, the third one, the Next Orbit JV with a Israel company, which is partly owned by Intel as well. So that will stick with analog for now, which will be of a higher size, around 200 nanometers, because that is also having a current market, and that market will phase out in the coming years. So the strategy here is that deliver to the market, because there's a huge investment in this sector already, in this size already. So that market is there. So to deliver to that market and earn profit, they will continue with this, and slowly they will shift to smaller nodes, digital nodes, as the market will also shift to that. So these different companies are having different strategies, and we need to see how they are mapping their strategy of production with the kind of demand. We all understand the demand will be exploding in India with 5G telecom consumption increasing in the coming months and years, and additionally all the other development, the movement of every aspect of governance or functioning to digitization, and the more and more dependence on digitization is creating more and more demand for these small nodes. And even the shift to electric vehicle major thrust we have, so that is also creating a huge demand, and we have seen in the past how the production was hampered because of these shortages of chips. So demand is there and it is exploding. The production plan is this: some companies are directly jumping into the 28 nm mode nodes, and the plan is to further reduce that to 22 nm and then 14 nm as well in the coming, as the market of that will grow, because that market will grow and grow, and the larger node market will reduce and reduce. So overall, if we see the market size of $60+ billion in the coming years, then nearly 15 to 20% is analog market, and similar to that is of market of 28 nm, and the remaining, which is around 60 to 70%, will be of the market of less than 22 nm nanometer digital nodes, chip nodes. So from that perspective, that is the future. So leverage this current life cycles of these nodes and these technologies. And in technology, the business strategy needs to be very agile with the changing market and the changing consumption patterns and all of those. So that is being taken care of by these companies. However, a few major companies in this sector, Intel, TSMC, and Samsung, have not committed much in the local market, in the Indian market, in terms of setting up manufacturing units. Rather, they have committed in other countries like US and Germany for their production units. So that those companies have heavily invested in these analog sectors, analog development. So they're also, if they push to that digital, then digital nodes and the smaller nodes, then India can advance as well. But we need to keep moving forward and try to attract all the players and develop smaller and smaller so that we can be a leader in this sector. Thank you.